Yay! It's my fantasy football show. You should watch it. Why, hello and welcome back to all of my friends, my fans, and definitely my fellow FTFLers to the longest weekly running episodic fantasy football show out there. That's right, boys and girls, it is the FTFL Weekly Update, and as always, I am not just the host of this award-winning show. I am not just the two-time FTFL champion. I am not just the reigning, defending, undisputed consolation champion of the league. I am not just your 2024 North Division champion, but I am also that song that is continuing to build week after week, layer after layer, getting louder. You just feel it building until the ultimate moment, which is almost upon us. That's right, boys and girls, it is I, Brett Sieber, and welcome back to the FTFL Weekly Update. As you can see, I have a co-host sitting next to me, none other than Lizzie Sieber, back by popular demand. How are we doing today?
Good.
You're doing good. I mean, the energy that came out of you right there sounded about...
It's pretty cold in here.
You know, but you'll be fine. You're inside, you got a blanket, you're all bundled up. Really, you may be cold, but let's be honest. The FTFL playoff race is heating up. Oh my goodness. Now, after the results of this past week, we now know who the number one seed is going to be. That's Eric. We know who the number two seed is going to be. That's me. Only one other team is currently in the playoffs, and that is Peter. And my God, do we have stuff to talk about with regards to him. In some ways, I don't even understand how Peter is actually 8-5. If the playoffs were today, joining us would be Andy, my ride or die, Big John Linkowitz. Woo! Get aboard the dickweed train. Yeah, choo-choo! I've been on that train all year. I'll be honest, I was about one leg out the door, about to jump off as that train went barreling into the unfinished bridge, down into the Canyon of Despair. But nah. I stayed on, I held on tight, and I closed my eyes, and wouldn't you know it, we made that jump. And Dickweed is one win away from cementing his opportunity to make the FTFL great again. Sid would be the sixth and final team if the playoffs were to start today. However, we don't play just 13 weeks. We play 14 weeks. Now, Salty and Swart both on the outside looking in. Does Matt maybe have a chance? I suppose there might be some sort of weird convoluted mess where Matt gets in. Now, simple as this. Sid wins, he's in. John wins, he's in. If Swart beats Andy, I think he's in, and Andy somehow is out. Of course, we'll have to wait just to see how this all shakes out. Now, before we get into the games, I understand we have some fan mail this week. Are you willing to read that out loud for us?
Yes, I can. I have to untuck.
Untuck. Sounds like something you do at Thanksgiving meal.
I thought that was going somewhere else. That's okay.
Wow. This is a PG-13 at best show.
Do I read who it's from?
It's just to start there, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Brett.
Yeah, it's me.
Congrats on the show. He has bad grammar and bad punctuation.
Whoa, you stop. Congrats on the show, yes?
It just, actually, hold on. Let me speak. It says congrats on show 150 last week.
Yeah, on show 150 last week. Hey, thanks,
that
whoever this
weird,
is.
Though.
Congrats on show 150. I think it sounds just fine. Proceed.
No. This is an amazing feat.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Interrupting.
I'm sorry.
Equally amazing is the fact that you have managed to be less bitter and genuinely more calm and happy this season compared to the last few seasons.
Huh.
Keep it up.
Oh, okay.
With week 13's game in the book, there are 4 teams with a 6-7 record that are vying for a playoff spot. Make Crimerica great again.
Yep.
Trogdor. What's that from?
It's from Homestar Runner. It's an old website.
I've never heard of that.
Before you were even born.
The Burninator.
Yeah, that's the Trogdor.
Oh, What? Well, then why is there a comma between it?
Because it was Trogdor the Burninator. He's burninating the countryside.
That's bad.
He's a one-armed dragon. Just calm down. Keep going.
Ooh, dragon.
Yes, dragon.
And the radioactive monkeys and dickweed.
And dickweed, yes. All 6 and 7.
Mixing cocktails is at 7 and 6. And
yes.
could also potentially miss the playoffs.
Correct.
With only 1 week left in the regular season, what are the scenarios for each team to make/miss the playoffs? You kind of already answered this.
Okay, well, hold up. I mean, we'll get there. Finish it out.
You keep up the good work. You guys should have tacos at the draft next year. We had tacos tonight, so you missed it.
Well, and does it say who it's from?
Oh, sorry. Best regards, Son of the Reaper, Hell.
Son of the Reaper. Wow. Okay, a couple things. Wow, the Reaper, Son of the Reaper. I know Bart ran off to try to find the Reaper. I think he was planning on trying to shake some sense in him to go after the Executioner. I don't even know where that stands now. Swart is part of this list, as Trogdor was mentioned. Like last week, the Executioner took him out, and you're right. I did cover a lot of the playoff scenarios. I did. And so I think that's fairly well documented. Now, it's funny that the whole rant thing comes up. Because now I'm going to give you 2 options on players, okay? Player A and player B.
Okay.
You can have one as your starting running back.
Okay.
Player A, 163 carries on the year, 973 yards, 10 touchdowns, 28 catches, 282 yards, and then 2 touchdowns receiving. Player B, 166, rushing attempts, 720 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 27 catches, 277 and 0.
Would player A be Jahmyr Gibbs and player B be David Montgomery?
Wow. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, player A is Jahmyr Gibbs. Player B is David, the bane of my existence, Montgomery. Did you listen closely? Jahmyr Gibbs has 3 fewer carries. The stats are almost identical, except for which one?
Whoa, hold on. That was a lot said. Read them again.
Oh, well, let's just focus on the rushing stats. Gibbs, 163, 973 yards, 10 touchdowns. Montgomery, 166, 720 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns.
Yes, touchdowns are similar.
Very similar. Yet, the rushing is 250 yards in favor of Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I know, in fantasy land, that doesn't amount to much. However, Dan Campbell, you giant ape, you big buffoon, I'm not entirely sure why you're okay at barely 4 yards to carry as opposed to 6+ yards to carry. How do you even still have a job, you goon? I mean, come on. It is clear David Montgomery is 3 yards in a cloud of dust, yet you gave him 22 damn carries. 22 on Thanksgiving Day. How many did Jahmyr get? 9. He got 9 carries. 9 measly goddamn carries. What are we doing? What on earth is happening? Are you trying to win games? Or, well, I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, you're 10-1. Big whoop-de-damn-do. After tomorrow night, what's the record going to be? 10-2. Yeah, especially if you keep clowning out Jahmyr Gibbs. For God's sake, get a hold of yourself. Make the right football decision for once in your miserable life. And stop feeding David Montgomery. The man is a fat, lazy piece of crap that's sitting on his couch. Meanwhile, Jahmyr Gibbs is picking every scrap he can get, and he's taking it all the way. God.
Undertaker.
All right, you know what? I'm sorry. I blew up Son of the Reaper. I wish it wasn't so. I'm glad it feels good to get that off my chest. You know what? On to the games. What is going on here? This is Taker. He sits like this. Pretty easy to do. There he is. All right.
Speaking of the Lions.
Yeah, what about the...
Sorry, this is a little off topic.
That's okay.
Can we not trade in the Marksers League?
You could have traded in the Marksers League.
Oh, it's over, yeah.
That trade is. Did you try to trade for somebody now all of a sudden?
No.
Okay.
I want one. I do want one.
Somewhere.
I do want one of your players.
I hear Jeff just screaming at the TV.
He's just not serious. She's not serious. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, all right. So now another rant. 2 rants here.
I beat you so bad today. This
past week. Yep. Jeff said you're welcome for the bye. He called it a bye. All right. You know what? Let's get into the games. Enough of the rants. And actually, I don't really want to get into the games, but I will because I'm just an honest and nice guy. The Pack Attack coming in at 9-3, taking on yours truly, Hulkamaniacs 9-3. Now, all the way back in week 1, Eric beat me. This was my chance to even the score, to have the front row seat, in a sense, driver's seat, for the number 1 overall seed. I will not get that because I only scored 76 to Eric's 106.5. If you're Eric, Josh Allen, 26 points. I have a bit of another. You know what? Another rant is coming.
Did he have the what's-his-face defense? Played last night?
Yeah, he sure did. He had Denver's defense, who scored not 1, but 2 touchdowns. But Josh Allen had a rushing touchdown. No big deal. Josh Allen had a passing touchdown. Also, it happens. Josh Allen had a receiving touchdown after he passed the ball. No, I'm sorry, NFL. That's not how we score that crap.
That's exactly how we score
That is garbage, and you know it. How does he get 2 touchdowns for the same damn play? What kind of broken-ass system are we working with here? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Josh Allen passes it. Again, now Brad Johnson, go all the way back. That's right, Vikings fans. He was with the Bucs at the time, but Brad Johnson threw a pass. It got tipped into the air. He caught his own pass, and he ran it in. Could Josh Allen pull off that? No, he couldn't. He had to hand it to throw to somebody, and then get it tossed back to him like some sort of child on a playground in the middle of Nowheresville. Dumb, stupid. That's 1 touchdown. It's not 2. You know what? Maybe I've been just bottling up all this anger.
Part of the reason I beat you is because of that.
You know, I don't want to hear about it. We're not talking about FTFL 2.0. We're talking about stupid Josh Allen and his stupid face. You know what? I have to come up with something different because that's Russell Wilson and that is Kyler Murray. Josh Allen needs a nickname.
What's up?
What?
Kyler Murray's done nothing.
Kyler Stupid Face Jr. Murray.
Just because he runs around with him,
that is exactly why he's stupid. Yes, that is it. Eric, also Mike Evans, welcome back. 16 points.
Yeah, he's questionable now, though.
Yeah, well, he's a fragile man.
So it's the stupid Eagles tight end.
Just all sorts of ranting going on this week.
Stupid Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, whoa.
That was not his fault.
Yeah, we can't call Trevor Lawrence stupid. How dare you? Josh Jacobs, 14 points. George Kittle, half point. Devontae Adams, 12.5 on the bench. Not entirely sure what Sid was thinking by letting him go. Now, again, the Jets have been terrible. Aaron Rodgers is washed, and Devontae is probably not going to be there next year. However, he's still Devontae Adams. And Sid, maybe you keep him instead of, shelving 4 quarterbacks on your roster. Maybe some advice from a guy who has 9 wins to, I don't know, your 6. For me, Lamar had 20, Nakua had 12.5, Dallas 15. Jahmyr Gibbs, we've already been over the 7 points. That's right, 7 points. 90-plus yards, 9 carries.
I have him too, I feel it.
Pacheco did nothing in his return. Thanks, Pacheco, 2.5. Metcalf, 6 points. Now, I played Pacheco because Metcalf was questionable. And then Metcalf was going to play. So I'm like, you know what? I'll put him in and I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. who's been struggling. Marvin Harrison Jr. scores 12.5 points. Jaden Reed, 15.5 on the bench. If there was a bad decision to be made this week, I made it. It's on me. I fall to 9-4. However, still, your 2024 North Division champ, as I mentioned earlier, Eric, the division champ in the South and the number 1 overall seed. Now, moving on to the team who had a chance to catch Eric, but didn't. The Valhalla Vandals coming in at 8-4, taking on Trogdor. We'll have to look it up. I'll show you. Trogdor, the Burning Air, Homestar Runner. 5-7, and wouldn't you know it, Trogdor? He won 80.5 to Peter's 69.5. Now, we documented last week, over the last 4 weeks, Peter hasn't been overly impressive, and that stretch continues. And maybe, just maybe, it's because his roster isn't all that great. We'll get to that in a moment. Swart, what a trade for David Njoku, 18.5. He is a beast right now in Cleveland. James Cook, 18.5. Brian Thomas Jr., a smooth dozen. Derek Carr, 10 points. Cooper Kupp, 1.5 points. He has, since his return, averaged 11+. Not that great this week. Didn't affect Swart in the end.
Who has Derek Carr as their quarterback?
He had to. He was on a bye. There was a bye. Swart did have 90+ points on his bench this week, or 90 points on his bench. That is, more than his starter scored. So thankfully, Swart, you avoided, taking the L where I didn't for poor management. If you're Peter, Trey McBride and Dicker the kicker, both 12 points. By the way, Dicker isn't the only kicker on Peter's roster. He has 2 currently, but that's the least of Peter's worries. I'm going to get to that in a moment. Baker Mayfield, 10 points. Run CMC, 5 points. And as we know, he is now gone. Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Did you
6
see
and
that video?
I didn't. When he hurt his knee?
No, it's his calf.
Oh.
That's why he's out now.
What happened?
He was running. I don't know if this is video I saw. He's running, and all of a sudden you can see his calf literally just go boom.
Okay, so it wasn't. I thought it was a PCL.
It is, but I think it's also other things.
Okay. Anyways, Amon-Ra 6.5, only his 4th single of the year. Now back to Run CMC. He was one of not 1, not 2, but 3 of Peter's running backs who were put on IR this week. Now Mason maybe isn't on IR, but he is definitely out, leaving Peter with one running back. David, the bane of my existence, Montgomery, scored 9 points.
Hold on. Wait, so his running backs were?
Dobbins, Jordan Mason, Run CMC, and David, the bane of my existence, Montgomery. Okay. He is down to just 1. Mm-hmm. Now, also, he has 2 receivers right now who are viable. Jordan Addison and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's got Tillman with Cleveland who's banged up. I think Tillman had a good stretch middle of the season, hasn't played that well lately. Peter also, though, as I mentioned, 2 kickers, but has a receiver as of recording of this show. A receiver on his bench who is not even on a goddamn NFL team.
And that is?
It doesn't even matter. Tyquan Thorson or whatever. He's some guy that played, I guess, for New England. He has 2 points on the season. I don't know when Peter picked him up. I didn't look into this. I was so stunned I almost didn't make it to the show tonight. What is going on? 8-5, and you have a guy in your team that's not even on an NFL roster?
He's got really good receivers.
St. Brown and Jordan Addison?
Addison gets a lot because Jefferson's covered, and St. Brown's good.
Yeah, St. Brown is just fine, but there's not enough going on Peter's team. He is going to make the playoffs. He is going to get just shelled in game 1, and it is going to be over. It is going to be over. It already is over. It's over. Speaking of over, it isn't quite yet for Sid, who came into this week, Make America Great Again at 5-7 to take on the Mixing Cocktails. Now, Andy, had he won, he would have been in. Instead, Sid knocked 92.5. Andy only 76, and now Andy has a chance of missing the playoffs completely. If you're Sid, you are in the driver's seat, win, and you're in. Brock Bowers, 19 points. I've heard a lot of talk about Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year. I've heard a lot of talk about Bo Nix, maybe Rookie of the Year. Brock Bowers needs to be the offensive Rookie of the Year. He is doing things on the Raiders with an absolute garbage quarterback situation in week after week. Yes, he is an absolute stud. Stafford, 14. Brown, 13.5. Kyrie Fairburn, 13. T. Higgins, 12.5. If you're Andy, Devin A-Chain, 14 points. The only one who scored above his average on the season. Everyone else for Andy was below their season average, which isn't going to really amount to much, which it didn't. 76. Now, again, next week, Andy plays, Jamar Chase, 13. Jonathan Taylor, 12.5. Maybe Taylor was slightly above. Maybe. That would maybe be the only second one. Mahomes, 12. Like I said, Andy plays for it. He wins and he's... 12. Yeah. Andy wins and he's in. If he loses... He is probably, because it would be his second loss of the season to Swart. The tiebreaker would be there. Andy would be bye-bye, finding himself in the consolation bracket, which, by the way, is nothing to shake a stick at. Speaking of shaking sticks, it is time once again to just shame everyone who has been piss poor in their management and play here in the FTFL. And for that, none other than Peter Vingy and the Cringy Report.
All right, FTFLers, buckle up. Week 13 Cringy Report coming at you. All right, this week's first award is the worst lineup possible. Who's the winner this week? You guessed it, our leaf-loving titan of tofu, the herbivore hero, Trogdor, the Burninator. Swart, even though you won, you totally bench-bombed this week with a staggering 90 points, left warming the pine. Your bench alone could have beaten half of the league. Half of the league. That's even some of the A-team squads. Maybe next week you just need to try less? All right, and for some of you, this is your favorite award as it gets you super excited. This week's Efficiency Deficiency Award goes to Adam Saltmarsh and the Radio Silent Monkeys. Even though Swart left 90 points on the bench, Salty takes home the award, managing an uninspiring 67.8% efficiency rating this week. Let's check the bench warmers. Joe Burrow, benched. Hot hands left cold. Keenan Allen, benched brilliance, baby. And Pat Freiermuth, even he was sad about this one. Adam's performance this week, like a Black Friday deal gone wrong. Better luck next week, Mr. Saltmarsh. Ho, 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 ho. You bet it. Yes, he did it again. The streak lives on. The infamous Menomina Mr. Markser chalked up his 11th consecutive loss, falling 92-81 to the Architects. And here's the kicker. Menominopes actually had the most efficient lineup this week. Efficiency? Sure. Victory? Nowhere to be found. This is no longer just a streak. It's a heritage of hardship, a monument to misery, a legacy that will echo in the halls of fantasy infamy for generations to come. Menominopes is out here proving that losing isn't just an outcome. It's an art form. All right, so to wrap up Week 13 nominations, Swart, number 1 with his horrific managing skills, leaving 90 points to rot on the bench. Come on, dude. And then, of course, we can't forget Menomina losing every game for the last 11 weeks. Now, this week's just a slam dunk. All right. And that wraps up this week's FTFL Cringy Update. Set your lineups, make good choices, or don't, because that's what keeps this fun. Good luck to everyone, except the unfortunate soul playing me.
All right, well, thanks again, Peter, for that. On to the last 2 games. A team that was all but dead. Really, seemingly, I even think I said pretty much dead. Yet, the sign stayed. My faith stayed. And John finds himself this week coming in at 5-7 to take on the radioactive monkeys, who are reeling. And the reeling continues. 77. And John, talk about hitting your stride just at the right time. 117 for John. Jaden Daniels, 30 points. If Jaden Daniels will score 30 points a week, John's going to be tough to beat.
When did you get a new watch?
Oh, when did I get a new watch? A couple days ago. Wow, there's a new watch,
Sorry.
folks. There it is. Bijan Robinson. Sorry, not Bijan. Brian Robinson, because Bijan's on Salty's team. 16.5 points. Joe Mixon, 14. Saquon and Tyler Bates, 13 apiece. Dalton Schultz, 12.5. John has won 3 in a row. Meanwhile, Salty has lost 3 in a row because Bijan, 17. Jalen Hurts, 14. Tyreek Hill, 13. Chuba Hubbard, 2 points. Second lowest point total of the year. DeAndre Swift, 5 points. Saltmarsh, the wheels are coming smooth off the bus at the absolute wrong time. Now, Salty over the years has been streaky. Winning streaks, losing streaks. Can he get on a win streak starting next week, make the playoffs, and then march his way to what I believe would be his 3rd fantasy title? Looking at this lineup, I'm going to have to say no. Last but not least, the Pride Bowl. Not the Pride Bowl, but the just like...
Not like Pride,
not
ally.
Yeah, not the Zesty or whatever you had me do a couple weeks ago, or whatever that was. The Architect,
that video here,
coming in at 4-8, taking on Mana, on the verge of record breaking for all the wrong reasons, breaking into my house, stealing and entering, title thieving champ Mana at 2-10. Matt, somehow I think a sliver of a chance of being in, if of course he won, and he did. 92.5 to Jeff's 81.5. Jeff loses for the 11th straight time.
Because Jeff couldn't hear me apparently last time. We'll pull it up.
What are we doing here? What's going on?
We're pulling up when...
Guess we're taking a time out here for a reading of a phone. Is this fan mail?
No.
Okay.
This is proof that Jeff Markser was not actually trying and was cheating and trying to get better for next year because he stopped trying. He said, "The draft went horribly wrong and I could not overcome it. After 5 or 6 losses in a row, I started looking to next year, building draft capital." So he tried to lose and was not a serious competitor in your league.
No,
I would have been. But he was not a serious competitor.
Hold on, Jeff is the only 4-time champ in the league history.
Yeah, by luck.
Well, he is Lucky Pants champ, no doubt. Jeff has been spending some money here. I'm sure it just pains him. However, it is spending money in an attempt to not break the record, which he did. He now is trying to get at least one more victory. If it's not next week, he will have the worst record in league regular season history. Another record for the wrong reasons. His win, though, needs to come in week 15, round 1 of the consolation bracket. Keep yourself out of the toilet bowl, because if you lose the toilet bowl, well, then you are buying pizza. If you're Matt, Terry Scary McLaurin, 20 points. Jared Goff, Chris Boswell, 16. Kyron Williams, 12.5. Lab McConkey having himself a real nice rookie season out in LA, 10.5 points. K-Dot, 2 points. We documented this. He blew up when Evans and Godwin went down. Between week 7 and 9, he had 44.5 points. In the other 9 weeks of the season, he has 31.5 points combined. Right. They have figured out how to guard Cade Otton. If you're Jeff, Tua and the Chargers defense both notched 20, and there was really nothing else there for him. Now, Jeff did point out, during his 11-game losing streak, all but 2 of the weeks, the team he was playing against scored 92-plus points. It's tough to compete when you're continually getting your ass whipped. That's tough.
Just
Jeff,
try better.
Yeah, well, try better. I suppose there's always that. Have you heard me talk or rant about fantasy football's a lot about luck? I mean, Jeff's in his title, Lucky Pants Champ Mana. However, he would even say himself this year, across all fantasy leagues, the luck has run out.
See,
and you know
that's
what?
embarrassing to admit that you only win on luck and not skill.
Oh,
That's embarrassing.
Oh, she got you there.
You don't actually want to win by skill?
All right, speaking of running out, we're pretty much out of time. Let me hit the stud and the dud. Stud of the week, Jaden Reed, 30 points. Because I am just an honest and fair individual, Josh the Turd Allen. Is that it? That's it. Josh the Turd.
No.
Josh the Turd Allen, 26 points, throwing, rushing, and by some loophole in the NFL scoring system, receiving. Dud of the week, let's see, Peter's running back situation. Good Christ. You didn't even make a waiver claim. Now, there wasn't much to claim. However, you didn't even have that. So, as we film, 1 running back, 1 receiver not even on a team, 2 kickers, Jesus H. Maybe we get a petition going that you know what, you've earned it. You're going to be in the playoffs, and then you're going to get whooped. No number muncher stat of the week, so let's just get to the 14th and final week of the regular season. Kicking it off, Mixing Cocktails, 7-6, taking on Trogdor? At 6-7, winner of this one is going to the playoffs. Hulkamaniacs 9-4, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys at 6-7. Will I be the one who keeps Saltmarsh from the playoffs? Ooh, buddy. I mean, if Saltmarsh wins, this whole thing gets topsy-turvy. Although, again, it still won't matter if these next 2 take care of business. Dickweed coming in at 6-7, taking on Mana. You know the story. Lucky Pants Champ Mana at 2-11. Make Cramerica great again at 6-7, coming in, taking on Valhalla. The Valhalla Vandals at 8-5. And last but certainly not least, Peter. Sorry. Oh my goodness. My apologies, Eric. Eric, the Pack Attack at 10-3, taking on the Architect at 5-8. We have made it. It is one last week. This is what it all comes down to. And it all comes down to this.
You know what it should come down to?
What's that?
This is really off topic, but
Dude,
I'm
I'm about ready to flip
I know,
the shades
I'm
and
sorry.
throw the piece.
I'm sorry. I just would like to point out that he needs to put lotion on his hands because his hands look like leather. I just needed to point that out.
Those are the hands of someone who works outside.
Yeah,
I'm not inside of the desk.
Neglecting.
Cushy little hands.
You're neglecting them.
Computer ass, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not on my computer.
No, I'm not saying you have computer ass. I'm just saying some of the people I are in this league might have computer ass.
Oh.
And with that, my friends, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Best of luck to everyone in week 14. And I will see you all in round 2 of the playoffs. Peace!